about
DIY
music.
Damn right! We got there!
My name is Augustus Watkins. Pronouns he, she, they. I pretty much take any pronoun you want to assign to me. I am a musician, a songwriter. I own a record label called Give Take, co-own a record label called Give Take, and I co-own a music PR and music services company called Cocaine Opera. Did I tell you, like, the reason why we named it Cocaine Opera?
Tell me.
Is because we just thought it would look really great when it looked really funny and kind of hard to ignore when you get an email from us.
Lore drop. Lore fucking drop right there.
I was like, it's going to be really funny to get an email from Cocaine Opera.
No, I'm for sure opening that shit. I want to know. I want to know the story.
Actually, the truth is, originally I wanted to call it Cocaine Oprah.
Oh!
Because that's just
That's
funny.
racist. You're canceled.
That's just funny.
What? Censored.
But we realized that was never going to fly.
No.
Oprah is a brand we don't want to fuck with. And then she had a coke problem in the 80s as well. So I don't want to like.
I mean, Oprah's big, not just like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oprah's
like,
big. And I didn't want, and it wasn't because I was like wanting to make fun of Oprah. I just thought it would be really funny to get an email from fucking Cocaine Oprah. And then we changed it to Opera. And here we are. Anyway, that's me. You are.
My name's Cam LJ. You're here with us at Secret Spot DTLA. We're downtown Los Angeles' co-working space for creatives. My pronouns are he, they, or she. You can call me really anything you want.
You should drop the lore about why this place is called Secret Spot DTLA. Do you want to?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So when we first opened this spot, we opened in a spot in 7th and Los Angeles Street, and we were up on the 3rd story of a warehouse building.
Yeah.
And so you'd go in, and all of the walls were white. So you'd have to walk through these hallways. Yeah. And like people would always go the wrong way.
It was like the Severance hallways. I was in there.
It was?
Yeah.
And so it was really like a secret spot.
Yeah.
It was like hard to find. And like, we're still a secret spot, but we're slightly less of a secret now.
Yeah. But nobody's going to come to a place that's called Public Spot DTLA.
Actually, new business, Public Spot.
I'm gonna start a rival studio. Call it Public Spot.
Come to Public Spot, bitch.
Don't go to Secret Spot. Come to Public Spot. We're not gonna get the sex parties that you got.
Damn right.
When people are advertising their parties at a secret location, but we might get more people to come to drink because they might think it's a pub.
That's true.
So
the public pub.
Win some, you lose some.
We gotta give some, take some.
What? That's the name of my label. Okay. Nicely done. What are we going to talk about this week? As promised, we are going to get into the kind of the nitty-gritty details about how to pitch yourself, your song, to gatekeepers, to press, radio, influencers, etc.
Damn right.
A really cool article by a lifelong writer, not a music songwriter, but just like a writer,
actual writer, like
essayist,
literature.
Yeah, novelist. Stay true to yourself.
Shout out the novels.
Yeah.
Shout out the novels.
Shout out to novels. Got to be one of my favorite genders. Fly Closer to the Sun. What I've learned from 50 years of rejection. There is so much that we can apply to our careers. A really cool conversation. Don't be so heartbroken. We'll get into it. It's not as bad as you think after 50 years of rejection.
My heart.
Shout out Tony Braxton, friend of the pod. Next, Musicians Against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, an article from the Jacobin. I am showing my leftist credentials on this one.
Damn right.
Goddamn
socialist.
Finally, a smattering of articles, many of which have been pulled from Music Business Worldwide. The new news from Spotify and ChatGPT, which does not send me into an absolute like horror.
I mean, I would have put it in the rage bait for Augustus, but you know it didn't work.
But it wasn't, and I'm not that mad about it, actually. It's not as weird as you think in my analysis. K-pop Demon Hunters, we're going to talk about those songs and how big those are blowing up. We're going to talk about nepotism in the music industry.
Yes, we are.
By way of Sir Lucian Grange.
And his baby boy,
and then there's some AI news in there.
You mean we talked about AI on the Wholesome Music podcast?
I can't believe it, but we did. We talked about Taylor Swift, and then finally an uplifting story about Drake.
That's right. That is right.
So, quick note, because we mentioned at the top, we had a couple of video problems.
We did.
So what we're going to do is probably there's going to be a little moment
section where you don't see us.
Yeah, towards the end.
But you're still going to hear us.
Yeah, so we're sorry about that. The content is still there. So just like take a good look at this face.
Memorize it.
Memorize it. You skip this.
No, this is the money maker.
Look at this.
That right there.
Skip this.
No. Pretend this isn't here and just watch over here.
And enjoy this episode. Last week we talked about the music marketing masterclass that Symphonic had put out.
Yes, we did.
And we promised that this week we were going to do a little bit of dive into the specifics of what you need to say when you pitch. Mm-hmm. So this guy actually goes back a couple weeks ago.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, right? This is like an extension of what we're talking about. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how to get past the gatekeepers or how to reach the gatekeepers. If your gatekeeper is somebody who is interested in your story, like a blogger, a music journalist, kind of not so much a playlister. They're less interested in that stuff.
But what about a sync?
Yeah, surprisingly, they do care about that. This is kind of a new trend in sync that they kind of do want to know the story because they're interested these days in kind of breaking bands or being part of a band's narrative. So it's not obviously with sync, the song itself is going
to be the story.
And that's true for anything, but sync, surprisingly, they do care about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a huge artist that you've already developed, like it's probably going to cost me more to get this song from you.
Yeah.
So if I'm like a music manager, or if I'm like I'm the music supervisor for the show, and like I find out, oh yeah, Augustus submitted this song, but Augustus has like 6 million people.
Yeah.
I might be less likely to choose your song just because like I know it's gonna cost me more.
Yeah. But at the same time, they want to know, and we touched on this, they want to know sort of like what the value of what you bring to their brand.
Yeah.
And they're interested in breaking bands. They're interested in being part of the narrative. So yeah, there's a lot of cases where knowing, and even just like when you talk to somebody on the street and you're like, oh, what do you do? I'm in a band. And they're like, what's your band sound like? And you go, that like this, all of this can help you, right?
Yes.
You got to make a website. What do you put on your website? You need to make you need to make your Instagram bio. What do you say?
It sounds like you're talking about marketing drivers.
Indeed, I am. So I broke this down. We took this from the Symphonic Masterclass marketing drivers, and I kind of broke this down in some component parts. When I'm pitching for PR, when you're pitching as marketing, like this is the stuff that we're thinking about. So I kind of wanted to break it down. So the first thing is how to tell your story as an artist.
Yes.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Who are you as an artist?
So a bad pitch with respect to artists might be just something like, hey, my name is Cam LJ, and this is my song.
Yeah. I mean, I've learned nothing about you.
Yeah.
That's out of your name.
Yeah. So
and that you submitted a song, which I knew because I opened the email.
Right. So like, yeah, exactly. So like, and so what value does that provide to me as the gatekeeper, right?
So what does a good pitch look like? What does a good synopsis of yourself as an artist look like?
There's a lot of different ways because there's no one size fits all.
Okay.
Because it depends, as we talked about last week, on who you're pitching to.
Okay.
And it also depends on what your story is. But a couple of things is like what a big one, an easy and obvious one is what communities or networks do you belong to? I am a queer person. Yes. I am a Puerto Rican. I'm
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, couple Puerto Ricans.
Both of us.
Yeah. Bad Bunny, call us. I am, God, I mean, what? Like
your identifiers, whatever your social identifiers are, that's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
So what are the things that are uniquely going to draw your audience to you? What are the things that are like, what do your listeners come to you for? Is it because your music is super emotional? Does it create is your music do you make sad bitch pop?
Well, we're going to come to that.
Do you make
that's mood. We're gonna get to mood, but this is just before we even get to the mood of the song.
Identifiers, your individual personal social.
Just who are you, and who are the band? We're all from New York.
We're a New York based.
Yeah, we're a New York based band. We're all we're all stock traders, and we quit our jobs to start this band. Like that's a fucking story, right?
That is a story.
Now we have a narrative, right? So you can think about how would the way to do this is to think about how somebody else would describe you.
Yeah. Are there any tools that you'd suggest that could help you kind of figure these things out?
No, I didn't. Honestly, it's usually I don't. I will say don't use fucking ChatGPT.
No.
Do not, like, this is like a blanket thing. I was going to put this at the end, but since you brought this up, do fucking not use ChatGPT to write your bio or your pitch.
Yes.
As a person who sees a lot of, as a person who sees a lot of things written about music, I guarantee you, everybody who reads that can tell you use ChatGPT.
Yes,
ChatGPT writes very empty shit. Now, if you want to write your thing and then use ChatGPT as an editor, like that won't trip my wires.
Wasn't thinking of ChatGPT. I was thinking of things like Groover and Submit Hub, where people are going to give you feedback on your track.
You're getting ahead of me because yes, this is feedback. This is where we're not even before we even talk about the track. It's just who are you as an artist, right?
So for one of the artists that I work with, he's had a really hard time figuring out who he is.
Yeah.
And like listening to his music, what is that? Like we know he's from Long Beach. We know certain things about where he is as an artist. Like but getting those, like, who do you sound like? What are some references for you as a general thing? Those are things that I feel like he has gotten really good feedback from.
Yeah.
From people being like, oh, you sound like this person. Oh, this fits this particular vibe.
Yeah, okay. And that's like, and so you can use, that's a good point, because you can use those as clues to get into how you might
pitch yourself,
how you might tell your story about who you are. Because if someone's like, if you're like, well, look, like I have, my influences are everything from David Bowie to Marvin Gaye to Justin
Michael
Bieber,
Jackson, and Prince.
You're like, well, what is to like Sade to Eminem, you're like, what? Like,
but I really like Green Day too.
Yeah, and a lot of us as musicians, we take in a lot of music like that. So you're like, well, how do you do that? So one of the ways is that you can use those comparisons then as a lens to look back, and so how through the lens of this comparison, how then could I describe myself?
How then can I use those tools and that information to create a better description of myself?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I mean, honestly, if you're the last child of 8, like that's a
story.
That's interesting, right? That's a story. That's a little piece of an identity. Are you a college dropout who famously used that as part of their story, right?
Absolutely. Kanye.
Are you the son of, or the child of immigrants? Like those things. And people go, and I know because I talk to people who go like, oh, I don't want to put myself out there. Like people aren't interested in me, but they're not interested in you. It's a lens through which they can understand your music and
relate to your music.
Yes. So it's like, it's not even like, I would say, like, it's not about you. It's about people. It's about like
other people connecting to you.
Yeah. What's your, like, another way to put, what's your pedigree? Like, are you an award winner?
Are you a classically trained artist?
Yeah.
Are you a bedroom producer?
Sure.
Like, what are your identifiers?
Yeah. Bedroom producer. Yeah. That's a great one. Like, yeah. Are you conservatory trained? Because that
bitch, I am.
Well, right. So if I was going to tell your story, like if you came to me to make a pitch, that's one of the things I might say about you. I would talk about like how you're a Midwest transplant to LA. I might talk about how you're a small business owner, how you're an engineer. If we were like pitching a song that you wrote, one of the things I would definitely say is like, this is a seasoned engineer who's then using his powers to finally, put out his own thing or whatever.
Yeah,
not that you have, not finally, because you put your stuff,
but that makes the most sense because it connects them to my story.
Yeah. And there's and
it gives them a window.
Yeah, exactly. And there's other stuff that I won't put you on the spot about, but that like I happen to know because we're friends. Like I happen to know about your biography that I would put in there, right?
Absolutely, because it's going to help them get a reference for who you are, who I am as an artist.
Yeah, and so like those things. As a writer. Yeah, so those things are really cool. Now, what's the story of the song? So this is where who the song compares to. Yes. Obvious, right?
Yeah, your reference is who does it sound like? Who were you inspired by? Don't get yourself into trouble if it's a interpolation. You know what?
Yeah.
It's very heavily inspired by this one song.
Be careful about that. Yeah. What was the seed of inspiration about this song? What compelled you to need to write this song?
Yeah. What drew you to this? Where did it come from?
Yeah. Like, and so one of the things that I do when what
was your inspiration?
Yeah. I'm writing. So like, I will kind of actually sort of free associate if it's about myself, if I gotta give you a pitch about my song.
Yeah.
One of the things I would do is I would just fucking free associate.
Yes.
And just like, and then I would go back, kind of pick out some narratives and pick out some pieces and just
when
talk
you say
about
free associate, can you elaborate on that?
I would just like start like just to myself, like Dear Diary format, like write just any bullshit that comes to mind when I think about free writing, when I think about what it is that drove me to make this song, and see if you can unlock some stuff that, or honestly, do what we're doing here, speak it out loud if that's your vibe. Get on your fucking voice recorder and just
voice note
and just start talking shit.
This is who I am. I like this stuff. Like go on with it.
The story of the song definitely include what's the song about?
Wait, I need to ask you something. So when I'm pitching my bio, should it be like one sentence or should it be like 10 pages? Is there like a length that I should shoot for?
Great question. I mean, again, this always depends on your audience.
What you're pitching to, who that is.
One sentence is probably too few sentences, and 10 paragraphs is probably too much.
Yeah, that might be a lot. That might be, I'm going to read the first paragraph and skip the rest.
A couple, maybe I would say like just like complete rule of thumb, just guideline, 3 to 4 paragraphs with 3 to 4 sentences each.
Yep, that seems
total
fair.
for your whole pitch.
You should be able to read it in maybe 3 minutes max. At most. Like if it takes you more than 3 minutes to read this, you've written too much.
300 to 500 words.
Yeah.
What are the like what's some interesting things about the process of the song? That's another one that I think people forget about. Like, I wrote this on a ship in the Norwegian Sea, and like that's kind of cool.
I have a contest winner from Minneapolis, and she wrote her winning song in the bathroom, and she said that before she performed. Yeah, she was like, "I wrote this in the bathroom." And I still remember
that's a fucking vibe, right?
That's a story.
Yeah, that can be part of the story of your song. Again, like, and you can also like, I forget to do this sometimes. Like, look at your own lyrics.
Yeah,
and
reference the content you wrote.
Yeah, remind yourself, what is this like? Like if this song is written in, a lot of songs are written in second person, which is you did this, you are this to me, you are going. So then like one of the things you could say is,
who is the you?
Yeah, who are you speaking to?
Who is the you?
Easy one. Who's the target of this song? Who do you imagine would like this song?
That's a big one. That's a big one, because especially if you're pitching for sync or any place your music is going to be used somewhere. Yeah. It's like, hey, I want to know where I'm supposed to use this. And if you can be specific, like saying which playlist you think your song fits in, or if you can say like which show, if you're pitching to a music supervisor, hey, I think this is a good fit for this particular thing. That eliminates some of the work of that gatekeeper to have to be like, okay, you sent me this, but like, what am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah, and even short of that, like even if you're just like I just want your blog to cover my song.
Yeah.
Like, but who would be the person who would
which article? Which
what kind of person would listen to this song?
Who's the audience?
Yeah, this is a song, like if you're doing it, if this is an R&B song, like and this is a song maybe that's like, maybe the vibe of the song is like a broken-hearted song, so you might be like, this is an R&B song. This is for R&B fans with a broken heart.
Yes,
that's like a thing you could say, right?
I know right away where that fits.
Yeah, and so then as a just like a person reading a blog or whatever, I mean, I might be like, oh, dude, like I love R&B and I like sad girl music.
Yes,
let's
go.
So this is the kind of thing that you can do to start constructing an identity around your song. They mentioned, there's not a lot to say about this, but key collaborators. Again, just
any features, especially if you're bringing people who have interest or are tied to your story in some way. I think those are some things that, like, this is a little bit off track, but it's relevant, that can make a unique story of a song, right? If you're doing a duet with someone and that person has a similar story to you, that's a whole new depth to your song.
And short of even features are one thing, but even just like who engineered it, who mastered it, who mixed it,
who played on your record.
Yeah, is there somebody, like does somebody who played on your record have a bunch of credits? Like, oh, this is and that people do pay attention to that.
Absolutely.
If you like hire a person who does horns and they play with like the Philharmonic Orchestra and they've done sessions with Earth, Wind and Fire or whatever, you'd be like,
be amazing.
Put that in your pitch. Put that in. That is definitely part of the story of your song.
Absolutely.
That kind of pedigree for the song. Next
collaborators.
Next, mood, genre, and atmosphere.
And we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, and this is why, like, again, like the story of it, like this is why I wanted to separate this out, because I think it's kind of easy to, like, we already have done, like, we were already kind of teased apart, right? Like telling your story as an artist, telling the story of your song as a piece that got created. Now we're moving to, like, what is the mood or the genre of the song? Genres challenging for a lot of artists.
Yes.
So I would encourage you, if you don't, some people know, dude, I am, this is raw from the streets hip hop. You're like, all right, then you know your deal.
Yeah.
Some people, especially in the indie kind of like rocks, in the indie scene, the rock scene, that can get a little bit nebulous, right? Like in the alternative scene, it can be a little bit like, what? So I was just saying, don't get hung up on that.
Absolutely.
Instead, think about, like, what mood is this song put you in? What mood is this? And this is where, like,
what does it evoke?
This is where, like, what's it giving?
Yes.
Right?
What is your song giving?
This is something. So, like, this is where I think your Submit Hub,
your Groover,
feedback can really be useful.
Yes. And I know, like, let's just be real. Sometimes taking this feedback is painful.
Yep.
Sometimes it's obnoxious.
Which we're going to talk about rejection next.
Yes.
So that can
find
be
a way to use it. If you're going to read all the things that make you hurt, you might as well get something out of it.
Yeah. So just some examples of, like, of what vibe or mood the song. Are we okay on time?
Yeah.
Okay. So some examples of vibe I might, as I'm listening to a song, what am I listening to? Like, this is simple shit, but, like, don't forget to do this. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it mid-tempo?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
This is a down-tempo emo song.
Yeah, exactly. Is it sad? Is it creepy?
Yeah.
Is it energetic? Is it not? Is it dirgy? Is it danceable or is it not?
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that I'm thinking about when I'm pitching a song is, like, I do think about, like, what if I'm a DJ, what kind of party would I spin this at?
Yeah. Where is this gonna fit?
So like, would you spin this at a
rave?
A rave, yeah.
Or is this more of like a
quinceañera? Yeah, or a cafe, or a funeral, or
exactly.
Would you play this for somebody?
Is this a wedding song?
Yeah. Would you play this for somebody who just lost their job?
Yeah.
Would you play this would you play this first thing in the morning to get yourself pumped?
Is this a workout song?
Yeah. Like, how could you use this song? So those are the kinds of things that go into the mood, genre, and atmosphere. Think about that stuff and, like, get feedback on that, because you, like me, I can't. I've talked about this before. Like, I'm fucking useless about doing this for myself.
I think it's really helpful to have a second person.
Oh yeah,
and you don't have to, like, have a manager or have a full-time person. Sit with your friend
and
be like,
homie.
hey, what do you think?
Yeah,
like, I thought this. Does that resonate with you, or does that sound? They'll be like, I thought it sounded more like this.
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, post it on your Instagram and be like, hey, what mood does this give to you? And see if anybody.
Yes, that's another thing. Another thing is, put your music out in snippets, please. Because, and this is just like giving away stupid game real quick, but like, this is 2025. Put it out. Put out a snippet. Beta test your music before you release it. If you're gonna we talk all the time about treating your release like a wedding.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go through the wedding, make sure you want to get married.
Been on a couple dates together. Yeah. So then, if you do that, you can take that feedback and incorporate that into how to talk about your songs.
Now you have that data.
Finally, where does your release fit in your where does your release fit in your overall sequence? Contextualize your thing. And we've been talking as if we're pitching a song, but you might be pitching an EP. You might be pitching the focus track of an album.
You might be pitching the single. You might be pitching the whole album. You might be pitching
the second single in your thing. You might be doing a waterfall release. So there's just like, this is, and so whatever that is, tell people that.
Yes.
So, and that's like, that can be a sentence, but include it, right? So this is the second song in a planned release of 25 songs that I'm putting out.
Absolutely.
Over the course of 2025, Artist X is dropping 6 songs. This is their second.
Yes.
Just doing that work. This is an EP. This is an LP. This is just like so that one, you're disambiguating that. That's big.
Yes.
That's a big 4-letter word.
It
right?
is, though. I like it. Making it less ambiguous.
Yeah, like, so, because I promise you that if you get written up in a blog, if you don't specify what it is, they'll get it wrong.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times they just won't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the context.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spend an hour deep diving just for you.
And then,
and I'm sorry, I loved your stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend an hour deep diving. I might spend 15 minutes.
They might,
maybe.
But again, this goes back to that gatekeeper thing. Because now, if you've done all of that, you have given away everything that somebody would need to know to understand who you are, what your song is, what your song is giving.
Yes.
Who worked on it?
Who's going to listen to it?
And where it fits into your career.
Yes.
Oh, and I did, like, when we talked about pedigree, just going back to the first thing, I did want to, like, just mention one other thing. Like, your pedigree includes, like, just some of your personal accolades. Like, did you perform at a big festival last year?
Are you a festival act? Are you, I'm a songwriter from this area? Or, like, what are your accolades? What are your credits?
And like, what have you done that's like, that you are really proud of? Did you play Glastonbury last year? Like,
did you win an award?
Yeah. Did you get a cool review? Did you get a little blurb in, like, in a magazine? Like,
I'm the guy you saw on the chicken wings commercial for McDonald's. That's my song.
Have you? Yeah. Have you played in a band that played the late night show? Just like
Jimmy Kimmel.
Even if it wasn't your band, even if you produced the song that got played on late night, like, though, just think about those things. Think about it in a broader context. Did your last song get 100,000 streams? Like, that's the kind of thing that you can do that would just tell your story. That's make someone go, oh, this is what this is about. Cool.
This is your resume.
Yeah.
This is your resume, and I want you to fill it up with everything you've done.
And so it's sort of like your song's resume, but your song's resume includes you, right?
Yes, it does.
So
because the song wouldn't happen without you.
Right? Like, you cannot separate. You
can you separate the art from the artist?
Let's take 15 minutes and talk about it. Yeah, I think that's all we have to say about that. I think like what we promised last week when we talked about this is giving away the game.
Quick wrap. What are marketing drivers?
Anything that you do that is in service of telling the story of your release.
Okay.
Including something like pitching to a blog, pitching to a influencer, doing an ad campaign, doing a wheat paste campaign, anything like that you would do. All of those are considering marketing drivers. As we said last week, you can get a little more detail on that, but every single marketing driver that you do, you should think specifically about how you're pitching. But these are the elements that we just talked about overall that need to be considered when you're going into telling in your story.
These are the high points, and you should be hitting them.
Honestly, dude, people pay me decent money from time to time to do for them what I just told you to do.
So if you do all of these things, you could save yourself a pretty penny.
Put me out of a job. Or if you don't, hire me.
Or do both.
Yeah. So we're going to come back. So we're going to come back in a second, and we're going to talk about rejection. So you mentioned about like how to use rejection as a tool to feel yourself. When we take a break, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some one writer who has some really interesting thoughts to say about how he has used rejection to fuel him.
I'm excited.
Come on.
Clap that ass. Oh my God, this is just stupid for you.
Yeah.
I saw Russian butt slapping championships. It's a real thing. Get in a whole boxing ring
and they just slap each other's asses? Are they clothed or
clothed? Okay. Of course. Yeah. But if you move, you're out.
Oh wow!
So you gotta take it with no motion.
I had one of my buddies. We send each other all the weirdest obscure sports.
Yes,
there are a lot of weird sports.
There's some strange ones.
Butt slapping is new to me.
Butt slapping is a classic. Only in Russia.
If you've seen a lot of weird sports, I've there's a decent chance that I've been exposed to it because now I go out and I try to find them. Just
now you're seeking it out. Now you're trying to get that good hit.
My algorithm gives me that shit. So
we've been training it.
So I see.
That's what you want.
I see some weird sports, but this one is new.
It's a brand new
Russian
one.
butt slapping. Okay.
You know I gotta come with something every week.
So speaking of Russian butts, The Guardian.
Oh,
which is the Guardian. Side note. This I'm going to get on my high horse for a second.
Let's get up there.
You people think that the New York Times.
With the you people.
Yeah, you people. And I mean it when I say you people. You people think that the New York Times is a liberal rag. New York Times is a conservative newspaper.
Okay.
I'll just say that the Guardian is a newspaper based in the UK, classically called the Manchester Guardian. The Guardian is what you think the New York Times is.
Yeah,
and I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're looking for like a decent, and they have a U.S. news bureau, so it's not like RT or whatever. Like, if you're looking for like a decent kind of like from the left, but
news
not
source.
Yeah, like that covers not like from the left, as in like it's not like a, because I follow leftist shit too. It's not that, but like just like a mainstream left wing blue dog kind of newspaper. Put away the goddamn New York Times. Go to the Guardian.
Yes,
this is not a news story.
Shout out the Guardian.
Shout out the Guardian. So this was cool. So this is an author named Bob Brody, and
ooh, good name.
He wrote this article called
Two First Names.
Is it good? Yeah. Two first names and no good ideas. I'm kidding. He's got great ideas. Stay true to yourself and fly closer to the sun. What I've learned from 50 years of rejection.
Wow.
So I'm taking some excerpts from this. He kind of tells his story. He's in his 70s now, professional writer. In that time, I've had 2 novels rejected, as well as proposals for nonfiction books, short stories, and numerous pitches for articles. Over the last 20 years, since turning my hand largely to personal essays and op-eds, I have been rejected even more. In a typical week, I get a rejection every few days.
Wow.
More than 100 times a year. Rejections accumulated over the course of my career run in the thousands. By now, I should have a PhD in rejection.
That resonates so deeply.
Right?
I heard a quote this week that said that I thought was really, really cool. And it was, you're only ever going to overextend yourself, like push too hard, try too much, 5 times in your life. But you will not go far enough thousands of times.
Wow. Right.
So like, you're only like, we as people, we're only ever gonna like, I tried too hard. Yeah. I pushed too long. I stayed too long 5 times. Okay. But you're gonna not go hard enough thousands and thousands of times.
So this is cool. Yeah. So he's kind of talked about like how he gets up and back on the horse again.
Yeah.
After
how you pick yourself up and dust yourself off.
Yeah. Obviously this is a writer, but if you're doing music, if you're in the music industry, you know as well as anybody that rejection is a part of this game.
Yes.
You don't get to be in a situation where you don't get rejected. And we've touched on this before.
Oh, even at the top of the music industry.
The top of the top, they're still facing rejection and gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Right? So like, this goes to the gatekeepers.
I just think that's because, you have such an established catalog now. I don't think that one's for you.
Yeah. Dude, like, I
know you wanted a new sound, but like what you're doing works so well. Like, I know you said like you really want to try new things, but like, why don't you stick with what works?
Dude, your girl Beyonce got rejected from the CMAs and
the Country Music Awards,
and quite famously, made an album as a fuck you.
Yes.
And then of course they made a fuck you back.
And just as like a whole respect to Black country music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can get to the highest levels and still face rejection.
Say it again.
So he's talking about he calls it the 7 stages of rejection. We'll get through these quick and then we'll talk about his strategies. First, the shock. How could this happen? How could these people be blind to my talent? Second, denial. Surely you've rejected the wrong person. This must be an administrative error. Third, dismissal. What do any of you know? Who appointed you to hand down rulings on my labors? You're stupid and your publication stinks. I reject your rejection.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'm like, the Submit Hub rejections. Like, I don't mind getting rejected, but
Yeah.
like when you get there, like the bass is 3 decibels too high, and you're like, you don't even know what a decibel is. Go fuck yourself. You're a fucking music blogger on Submit Hub. You're a guy on Submit Hub.
Yes.
Fuck you. But there's okay, but like you can still learn from that. Fourth, anger at those who rejected me, followed by anger at myself. Why do I do this to myself? Which is often how I feel when I go on Submit Hub. Why do I fucking do Submit Hub? Fifth, bargaining, preferably liberally seasoned with delusion. What will it take to convince you to recognize me as a once in a generation talent? Sixth, depression. I'm no good. What's more, I'll never be any good, which I also feel from time to time. And then finally, he says seventh is acceptance.
You know, there's something really interesting to me about this. And I think part of rejection is preparing yourself for it. Like rejection comes with expectation. And I think this is an up and down thing. You maybe take a pinch of this. Maybe don't eat it every day for breakfast. But I think don't expect to get a yes. One of the best things for me in being able to take more and more rejections is just send it out and expect no one's going to read it. No one's going to see it. And that way, if it comes back and they say no, oh my God, they actually read it?
Dude, yeah.
They actually read it? That's crazy. I assume they wouldn't even read it.
Yeah.
If you start with those super lowest expectations, you can only go up from there. Now, don't embed that into your personal life and be like, well, I'm not worth it. My music's not any good. Just for your reach outs. Just, setting those baselines like, hey, maybe no one's going to see this. Maybe no one's going to read it. And they're probably not going to respond. At least that way you're not sitting at the laptop waiting like, oh God, is it coming? Did they read it? Do you think I'm going to get a response tonight? Oh, well, it didn't happen tonight, but like maybe tomorrow. No, don't let yourself be in that cycle because it's too painful. Find yourself a place where you're able to like set those expectations and kind of find a comfortable place.
That's such good advice. That's such good. Like I don't even have time to articulate how good of advice that is. Just to highlight what you said back, just because it just like really resonated with me, just for like where I've been at in my life. Is like, don't integrate rejection into your personality. Like accept that you're going to be rejected. And he kind of talks about what, like, well, I'll say now I understand the many reasons why someone says no. And again, so like these are things that you can use to inoculate yourself against taking it personally. For starters, as an editor may have run a similar piece or already have one in the pipeline, or be just contemplating something along the same lines for another contributor to pursue. Again, like this is about writing, mutatis mutandis, change what needs to be changed. You can draw parallels to yourself as a musician. Of course.
If you're going for a playlist, someone might have already found that song on the playlist and be like, hey, it's full for this week. That's cool. Thanks for sending it, but I'm not going to place it this week.
I've already got, 140 BPM.
Pop punk ballads. I already got it. Or less promisingly, my pitch is of limited interest. It's just they don't, it's not right. Or the editor believes I lack the credentials or stature to fit the bill. That's always a good one because it means that you can grow into it. If someone is like, you're not famous enough. This is a good song, but you haven't played the venue I want you to play. Well, now you know your next step. Right. If you really want that thing, you now know what you need to do to get there.
Yeah. So again, like metabolizing rejection into action. Or they were too distracted and read my submission too fast to appreciate its abundant merits.
It's time to hit them again. Time to send it out again.
This is something I didn't include in the quotes, but I think it's a really nice piece of context now that I'm reading this back. Is he talks about this is a person who has been at the outset I read all of his rejections that he's had. 2 novels. Like this is a person who's written a lot, and
he's written 2 books and got rejected.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like this person has written a lot. Has spent his professional life writing. And has done it through a ton of rejections. And he says, he admits he's like, I took it out. He's like, I've never been on Oprah. I've never done a world famous best-selling piece.
My New York Times best-selling book hasn't happened yet.
I don't do TED Talks. Like he's content with how his career has happened, but he's not a famous author. He's not somebody who's hugely blown up. He's somebody who has managed to carve out a career in his chosen field, despite or perhaps even because of the rejection. That's an important thing to remember. So finally, he said he was giving some advice to his daughter, who has now probably, unfortunately, chosen this writing career as well.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah. Rejection is tough. First, write as well as you truly can.
Yes.
That's always priority number one.
And that's true for music. You know, like the song comes first, right? If it's not a good song, it doesn't matter how good your story is. Like we talked about marketing drivers before this. It doesn't matter how good you sell yourself, how sexy your resume is, if the song is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Like honestly, almost all the advice we've given on this podcast presupposes the idea that
your song is good.
Yeah, that you're a good music. Like your song is written well, played well, produced well, like mixed, mastered well, like presented well, right?
Yeah.
Like until you haven't done that,
yeah,
none of this matters.
That's
and so
all step one.
Yeah. So like I truly, honestly, because we're like, as much as I want you to stay with us and like be a part of this, if you're not writing work that you're truly proud of, like, honestly, turn this shit off and like go write.
Do that.
Go write.
Go do that.
But assuming that
also don't turn it off, because we're gonna give you some good advice on how to write. Maybe not in this episode, but maybe in the next one.
But so assuming that you are a part of that, you're generally content with the work you're doing. Of course, everybody wants to get better. Assuming you're generally content with your skills and abilities as a writer and a musician.
And you think they're like industry proficient.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you might be content with something like I think this is valuable in the conversation of rejection.
Yeah.
Are you writing this for this to be listened by the most number of listeners possible, or are you writing this because it's something for you?
Literally, his next point. Second, write about what matters to you and give it time to ferment. Like this, that's
you know why I knew that?
What?
It's because I've gotten a lot of rejection.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and like say that you were like. Even if I was going to say cynically, but even if it's not cynically, even if it was just like a cool idea, you're like, I'm going to like this sound is K-pop is popular. I'm going to do, so I'm like, I can write it. I can do K-pop. So I'm going to do K-pop. So now you did one K-pop song and say it blew up.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now you got to make more K-pop.
Yeah.
Or you got to do that.
Or your whole catalog is like something separate. So all the listeners you're going to get because of this are going to completely be turned off from you. So
maybe like, wow, that's crazy you made this, but I don't have anything else for you.
Everything else you do is like folk pop. So what do I care? So write about what matters to you. Third, stay productive. The more you create, the better your prospects. Always have something in development, whether you're just daydreaming about it, taking notes about it, or actually writing it.
This just seems like a guide on how not to be depressed. When you feel rejected, bummed out, depressed, the best thing for me is when I feel rejected, bummed out, and depressed is to have something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Today sucked, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing this, or next week I'm about to do this thing that I am really excited about. Or even further down the road, like, hey, I'm building to when I can do this thing that I really care about. And having those tangible things on your calendar.
Yeah. Outcome independence is a way of people kind of talk about it. I'm going to do this regardless of the outcome.
Doesn't matter how many people come to the show. It matters that I played the show.
Yeah.
I was on that stage.
Yep. And there's something else I want to pick apart here. We talked about, or even if you're just daydreaming about it, even if you're not, because I think a lot of people do feel like take this advice only goes so far, but I do think it's worth saying. Yeah, like if you're just because you're not like actively writing a song, like that. If you're engaging in the creative process, that does include input, right? Yeah. So like you need to have time to let things marinate. You need to take in art in order to have something to kind of react against to create something. So you don't have to be like locked in for 24/7.
Look, I write and then I sleep. And then I write more.
Yeah.
And like honestly, if I'm not writing, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life, because like I don't really have to work, so I just write all day. And like honestly, I barely even sleep now because I write so much, and it's like super healthy for me. Yeah, it's like, dude, we have all heard people. You go to enough music conferences, you meet people that present themselves like that, and you're like, okay, so you've never gone to a movie? Yeah, you've never seen anything. You never gone out to eat. You don't go socialize. You don't read books. You don't listen to music. Well, and honestly, I think it's really important for artists to have those external stimuli. Whether it's listening to a podcast like this, or going out and going to a show, seeing other musicians, going and seeing music, art, creativity in other contexts, even outside of music, because those are the things you're going to draw from. Like if you have no experience, you have nothing to pull from.
Yep. So all of that counts as writing in some form or another. I do say that can go so far because I think people can delude themselves to be like, I'm living life. And you're like, well, you're calling yourself a writer, but you haven't written anything.
Art is practice. If you're not doing the work of rehearsing, practicing, then the art is, the word I'm thinking of is atrophy.
Yeah.
Your artistic muscles are atrophying. Mm-hmm. So don't let that happen.
Art is practice. Fourth, keep at it, as you say.
Yes.
And fifth, as long as you have faith in yourself, it will pay off.
Real.
Yeah.
Real. The easiest way to not get something is to stop doing it.
Yeah.
The easiest way to ensure you won't get it, the easiest way to guarantee failure is to not go for it.
Period.
Yeah.
Musicians Against Live Nation and Ticketmaster by Joey Lanive De Francesco for the Jacobin. Go last segment when I kind of talked about the Guardian like not being a leftist. This is a leftist magazine.
You meant the New York Times not being a leftist.
Oh right, yeah. Well, I was saying the Guardian. I was kind of situating the Guardian as like not pure leftist, but sort of like a blue dog kind of like.
Okay, I have to interrupt us here.
Yeah,
because we could make a beautiful transition to our not sponsored Ground News.
What do you mean? Are not sponsored?
Do you not know about Ground News?
No.
Okay, Ground News sponsors, this we might just cut, but Ground News sponsors all these fucking YouTube channels. And so you'll have people like, oh, are you getting your news from this place or from that place? You should get your news from Ground News with unbiased source where you can see the leaning of each one. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Going back, I'm sorry.
So this is the Jacobin, where this is truly like a socialist magazine.
Okay.
So just to tell you like where the where we're coming from here, but I would like to normalize socialism a little more. I think it's pretty normalized in our communities.
Okay, you fucking Marxist. Ugh.
I ain't saying I'm not.
Yes.
Okay, so and then Joey Lanive De Francesco, by the way, is one of the founding members of UMA.
Yes, come through UMA.
Who we profiled in a previous episode.
We did. Go back and listen to our episode about UMA. Let's talk about music unions.
Yes. Live Nation Ticketmaster controls nearly, I'm quoting now, Live Nation Ticketmaster controls nearly every corner of the U.S. live music business from ticketing to touring. In Portland, Maine, a coalition of venues, musicians, and art workers rallied the city against the industry's most powerful monopoly. On August 11th, Portland, Maine's independent music community scored a first-of-its-kind victory against industry giant Live Nation Ticketmaster. After months of organizing led by the Maine Music Alliance, henceforth known as MEMA.
Oh, yes.
Maine is, of course, ME, and then Music Alliance, a coalition of local independent venues, musicians, music workers, and arts organizations. The Portland City Council voted 6-3 to impose a moratorium blocking construction of a Live Nation venue.
Yes.
MEMA was born in 2020 at the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, when Portland's music venues were getting plunged into financial crisis. They did a lot of work then to try to work to help their communities, and went dormant. And then
over COVID they went dormant.
After COVID,
okay,
they weren't needed anymore.
Came in late.
Yeah, they organized during COVID, and then. So this is oh goodness, I do this sometimes. So this is a quote by one of the founders. When we learned about Live Nation's plan to build a venue in Portland, that was when we decided it was time to bring back the organization, because we, the community, need a unified advocacy voice. Music communities as a whole have not been organized enough. That's something you and I agree on.
Yes.
And this is just the nature of politics. If your side is not organized, you lose.
Yeah.
They began meeting online, dubbed themselves the Maine Music Alliance, and quickly launched an ambitious fundraising campaign to bankroll. How did this get out of order? This is. I'm going to skip this paragraph. That was going back in time to talk about.
Yeah, tell me.
that was what they did in 2020. We're on to 2025 now.
And so essentially, they had closed right after 2020 for a little while, and then reopened when they were.
Well, in 2020, they organized to get a bunch of money and to support independent venues.
Okay.
So,
and this is MEMA or UMA?
MEMA.
MEMA.
After MEMA kind of did what it had set out to do, and then federal funds started coming in, and they weren't needed anymore.
That's awesome. We love federal funds.
We love federal funds. Not that you can expect any of those anymore.
With the shutdown.
then when they saw that Live Nation was trying to organize, set up a venue in Portland,
they said no more.
They came back to life.
Yeah.
The coalition,
had to bring them back from the dead.
Yeah, the coalition settled on a moratorium as the clearest solution to The coalition settled on a moratorium as the clearest solution to delay Live Nation. Under Maine state law, moratoria allow for pausing developments if there is a risk of imminent public harm. For 180 days, no large venues could be built, including Live Nation's proposed project, giving the coalition much needed time to build power and develop a strategy to permanently keep the monopoly out of Portland. MEMA then launched an intensive public education drive warning Portlanders about Live Nation's record, urging residents to contact their city councilors in support of the moratorium. They organized turnout at every city meeting, filling up hearing rooms and going on the record with testimony. The response was overwhelming. Amazed councilors commented that they had never seen such a volume of constituents contacting them on any issue.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we're looking at this as like a model going forward. We know that Live Nation will come into a city. They'll promise a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they won't deliver.
No. And I mean, do they care?
No.
Like, do they have any incentive to care?
No. And they have the power is so imbalanced because they are a huge corporation. I cut this, but they have they are a monopoly, right? They own the venues, they own the Ticketmaster. They actually have a lot of artists on their roster. They have a huge music management piece. So they have just this incredible vertical monopoly,
which is brilliant, but awful.
So they can do things like operate a venue at a loss for years to snuff out
all of the others.
Yeah.
And they can go in and buy a bunch of venues in your area.
Yep.
They like in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to say it's like 80% of venues in the Twin Cities are owned by Live Nation.
Live Nation, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then of course there's a local like First Avenue that owns a bunch too.
And they have like the Palace Theater. They have the State. What is the State? It's not the State Theater.
The State.
But they have like 6 or 7 venues. And if you're just not in good favor,
good luck.
Good luck, friend.
Yep.
Keep playing though.
Yeah.
Keep playing.
If you're a local band, or local performer, good luck. So they'll come in and just trash your local community's live music scene. So this is just one model. They had a way to do something. They had a specific thing that they were going to do, right? They weren't just out there being like, Live Nation sucks. Live Nation sucks. They had,
I'll do that.
Right. But they knew which law in their state they could use. They probably had some legal help, somebody who was like understood this stuff, and they got organized. They had phone calls, they did emails, they had Zoom calls, they did meetings, they showed up physically in person.
Of course.
Like they got out of their fucking bedroom and turned off TikTok for fucking 1 hour and did something. And it worked.
It did.
So this is going to save and this is just one piece of the fight. But this is the kind of thing that can save a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Save the jobs.
Save the venue, save the artists, save the creators.
Yeah, save the creative flavor. I mean, we know as people from Minneapolis, like the Minneapolis the vibe has changed.
The vibe's shifted.
Yeah, and
the vibes are fucked.
And this is, if you're in Austin, you know this. If you're in, there's a lot of cities.
We want to keep our cities weird.
Yeah. So,
if you're in the other Portland, you know it too.
yeah. The Portland Alliance. I just thought this is such a wonderful story about how people can get together.
This.
Yeah,
because we're talking about MEMA. Is there CalMA? Is there MNMA? Are there other local state by state divisions of UMA, or is this kind of a unique happening?
Yeah, this is a unique thing. So just because they rhyme, UMA of course is United Musicians and Allied Workers. So I think they got affiliated with this, but this is basically this is two grassroots organizations in support of each other.
Okay,
and it so happens that this guy who wrote the article, Joey Lenive de Francesco, is associated with UMA, but
they are not necessarily tied.
But
together.
nobody at MEMA is
associated with UMA.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, except through grassroots, sort of like people knowing people.
Absolutely.
But at an official level, no. So yeah, you can do you don't you raise a really good point. If there's something in your city that you want to do, you don't have to like get involved in, you can get help from other people.
Yes, you can.
But you also can just like have phone calls, send emails,
grassroots organize,
talk to the people in your life and get things done.
And there are large organizations. There's UMA, there's the MLC. There are many of these musical organizations who are here to stand in the fight with you.
Yep. Yeah.
So if that's something you care about, something you have like the desire to do and you see the need for, don't hesitate. Get going, get motivated, and get it together.
Yeah, yeah. And I would imagine that the folks at UMA would be a great resource to begin a conversation if you had some, or or like other local arts organizations. If there's like, because music is so poorly organized.
Yes,
but you might
art is so poorly organized.
Well, some is better, right? Because like we're film and television is better.
Yeah, at the highest levels.
Yeah,
but if you're at like your favorite art school. How organized is the film department?
Yeah, well, politically organized, we should say. Like,
there's more money. I think what we're talking about there is like the film and television industry, at least until recently, has driven so much economic driving happening through movies. Yeah, like whether that's movie theaters that used to make money, whether that's renting out film permits that used to cost money, whether that's renting out gear that used to cost money.
It's not like music is a huge economic driver, which is why we actually as music workers can have a say in how our economies grow. Because it like municipalities, states, counties are looking at music as a way to generate revenue. So if you have a say in that, you can have a say in how that money gets.
Especially if you're in a smaller economy, and I don't mean like a tiny town. I just mean you're in like something that's not in New York, Nashville, or Los Angeles. You are going to have a lot more like pull in your community because look, if you're going to put together a show, you're going to bring people to the town, you're going to bring people around. That's money. Yep. And don't be afraid to use that.
And if you were in a big city, like for instance, I can't speak to New York, but LA, then I would you couldn't do a LA wide sort of initiative because
it'd be tough.
But you could probably, for instance, get with downtown if you're a downtown
you could. I mean, there are organizations who've done this and made their life around it, and just thinking on a smaller scale. Like I'm thinking of LA Parks and Recreation, right? So there are all these different parks. Like I'm by MacArthur Park, there's Echo Park, and they have shows all summer, every Sunday. Yeah. So there is some individual person who's like, damn, I gotta get this lined up this year. Fuck, who am I gonna get? And you could be a part of that, and you could also utilize the fact that like cities, whether it's your Parks and Recreation department, whoever it is, need to have music. And if you can organize around that, and just like we were talking about with gatekeepers, make it easy, maybe you find yourself a place that way.
What's the DTLA?
DTLA Proud?
There's a DTLA Alliance.
There's DTLA RA.
Right. So, and then there's the purple shirts in DTLA. Like that's the BID, the Business Improvement, which is not a government organization. Nope. That's local. So like totally that's the kind of like the Business Improvement District, which if you're from LA, you kind of know there's a bunch of these. They work kind of with the government, but they're a private organization, like kind of like the Chamber of Commerce. They're like a private organization that local businesses fund in order to kind of get services for themselves.
Absolutely,
that's a model that we as musicians and music workers could apply to ourselves in various ways.
Is. Maybe we should explore that more.
Maybe we should.
It would be very strategic.
I've never done anything strategic in my life, and I'm not about to start.
Well, after this butt slapping practice, I'll get you all worked out.
Might have a God, this if you people aren't writing fan fiction after this.
We gave you everything. We gave you all the pieces.
We are literally married, and you won't put
it That's sexist. That's what that is.
That is.
It's homophobic.
Yep, that is homophobic.
Yep. You fucking people.
It's also racist.
It is. Damn right. Because you would never be with me.
And I would never be with me.
But I would. I would be with you. you.
And that's why that's not very strategic of you.
No, you're right. God damn it.
I would not be a strategic person to marry. I don't have a lot going on for me.
It'd probably be a bad call for you.
I wouldn't. Do not marry me for my legacy, because I don't have one. We're going to get to this legacy thing. This is going to connect in a minute.
We're going to bring it back home.
First, let's talk about the homegirl Mandy Dalek-Doug from Music Business Worldwide. Quick news story. Spotify brings music recommendations to ChatGPT via new integration.
I saw this. Educate me. Bring me in. Put me in.
You didn't put this in the new Augustus Rage bait?
I should have.
Does this not sound like Augustus Rage bait?
This is Rage bait for Augustus.
Yeah, this is on it. Like, okay, look, so Spotify free. This isn't that bad. It's corporate synergy at its finest.
Which we're gonna get into later too.
Basically, both these companies suck, so they're doing an initiative together. I don't care. Spotify free and premium users can now link their accounts to ChatGPT and receive personalized music and podcast recommendations directly within their ChatGPT conversations via new integration. This allows users to request specific tracks or albums or playlists or recommendations based on mood or genre. They can type in prompts like, Spotify, I need something to keep me in the zone. Can you pull up a focus mix, and get recommendations? Sten Garmack, the Senior Vice President, Global Head of Consumer Experience at Spotify, said, and I quote, Spotify's vision has always been to be everywhere you are. By bringing Spotify into ChatGPT, we're creating a more powerful new way for fans to connect with the artists and creators they love. You got it. Free users will be able to access Spotify's existing playlists. I don't even care. I'm like bored even reading this.
So here's my question. How is this different from the new Spotify DJ?
It sounds like it happens through. It's probably the same algorithm. It's happening.
Probably is the same algorithm.
When I was reading this, I was like, look, a lot of companies are like doing AI, right? And including obviously Spotify. So I was like, I have a feeling that this was a conversation where it was like, we're gonna license we're gonna make a GPT and like license our
transformer
data
model
and like do this. And then I was like, and somebody was like, listen, we're Spotify, you're OpenAI, we're huge companies. We're gonna do more than just like license your model. We're gonna let's do
an integration.
Let's do a strategic brand partnership. So this to me just does seem like something where Spotify was leveraging the technology anyway.
Because it seems like a lot of the features that are a part of this are already integrated into Spotify in different ways. It seems like the only thing that this provides that you can't get otherwise in Spotify is direct prompting. So the thing that you can't get anywhere else is being able to write it in text. You could otherwise search it. You could request a particular vibe, like a feeling, but you might not be able to write a whole paragraph or sentence.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's the new thing.
Yeah.
And having the branding.
Yep.
But like, I don't know.
It actually links your accounts. I like, it's like, so when you're like, it'll prompt you to be like, hey, you want to link your Spotify account? And then, so it like, it will in the back end, ChatGPT will just kind of organize this for you in Spotify and then deliver this for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's getting all of my Spotify data then as well.
It did say, artist protections remain in place. Spotify will not share music, podcasts, or any other audio or video or content with OpenAI for training purposes. But that's content. I imagine that your personal data is probably going to get hoovered up. And then probably both directions. Yeah. So now like Spotify is going to get your OpenAI data, and someone should look into the terms and conditions of this a little more.
I'd be curious. I wonder if there's a top music attorney on this. I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Moving on. K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
Speaking of demons, so this is cool. You want me to just do this real quick?
Yeah, jump in. I thought this was a super cool story. And I'll just preface it this way. I thought it was cool because we talked a little bit about AI music, right? And we've talked about we talked about the Velvet Sundown. And we've talked about
our favorite band.
Yes, exactly.
We bonded over favorite Sundown.
We did. And I think there's something here about, in this case, it's a movie. It's a film. And these are animated characters in the film. But these animated characters have literally been brought to real stages, to life, through the people who are doing the voice acting and the singing. And that's crossed over into the charts. And I thought that was really, really interesting for us to kind of talk about here.
The last time, I'll back up. Chris William for Variety, right? The headline is, as Golden remains at number 1, K-pop Demon Hunters now has 4 songs in the Hot 100's top 10, a historic first for a soundtrack. This is in the middle, but this is amazing to me. Mm-hmm. Billboard notes that the last time a soundtrack had 3 songs in the top 5 at once was all the way back when Saturday Night Fever did it in 1978.
Oh, wow.
So it's basically in 50 years.
That's wild.
Yeah. The K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack continues to hunt down more slots in the upper reaches of the top Billboard Top 100 as as we said, that soundtrack has 4 songs in the top 10 simultaneously. The first time that has happened for any soundtrack in the history of the Hot 100. Golden remains at number 1. Let's see, Your Idol, Soda Pop, and How It's Done.
And these are all really. Have you seen the film yet, or have you heard any of the music yet?
No, this is all new to me.
Okay, I thought this was really interesting because this was one. It's been brought to me in the studio as a reference multiple times.
Oh, really?
So before I listened to it, I had people be like, "Oh, can we do it kind of like this? Can you make it like that?"
Okay,
I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I hadn't really exposed myself until my godchild, who is 4 years old. She came in and she kept saying it.
She came into a session?
No, she was here though. She was here. And she was like, yo, I want to listen to this, play this, play this. I'm like, okay, I'll play it, whatever. And I listened to it and I thought it was really interesting. And then I watched the film. And to be entirely fair, like this is not a movie review, but I did feel like it was very much aimed at kids.
Yeah.
You know, like unlike like maybe the animated movies we're used to or like we grew up with, it does seem to be more aimed at kids. You could
kids and families.
It's tough because even as a family, like I felt like it wasn't adult aimed. There was, you know, like you think about a movie like Shrek, where you can very much still enjoy it as an adult.
Hot take! You're saying that K-pop Demon Hunters is no Shrek?
Yes, I am.
You heard it here first, folks.
Hot take. I might get some flack for this, but like, you know what? Like it just, to me, the story felt a little thin. Yeah. You know, and I had issues with the animation. I felt like the animation, and maybe this is because I work with music all the time. Yeah. But like, if you're singing "Gonna be golden" and you're singing it like that, like your mouth isn't moving at the same rate, and that just gets me every time. It's
funny. I was just hanging out with a couple of animators who both work sometimes at Netflix.
Yes.
And they were kind of talking about like Netflix, this will not surprise anybody, gets the cheapest animation possible.
You could see it in the singing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the singing wasn't there. The music, it sounds awesome. What's cool about the music is it just sounds like pop songs.
It's so much cheaper to make good pop music than it is to make good animation though.
Yeah.
But apparently the investment paid off, right?
It did.
This record is, or this soundtrack is enormous.
It's huge. And it's influential in a way that I think, you know, we've been seeing K-pop cross over here to the US. And I think it's really, really cool to see, you know, something that maybe we wouldn't have exposed ourselves to organically, really having this like moment culturally.
Yeah. Like K-pop is really having a moment. And you were saying that now they're touring on this.
Yeah. So there are the three women who play these main characters. They're all actually singers. Oh. They're all actually K-pop artists.
Good casting.
Exactly. And so they wrote these songs together and now they're going out and performing them as a group. So they're kind of, and in the story, obviously these three are a group. They're a vocal group and they fight the demons with their voices.
Cool.
And so kind of like Sinners, you know, Sinners kind of had that same theme earlier
like
this
what
year.
We're doing here.
Yeah, like
we're fighting demons.
Fight the power with our music.
We're using our voices to fight demons.
Yes,
it's all the same.
It really, but that's the vibe, right? Yeah. And so they're bringing these characters they created to real stages with them performing, which I think is really cool. And it's interesting to see like these, whether in this case it's not an AI band, it's an animated band, but bringing these characters to life in a way that's impacting the real music industry.
Just to clarify, these are real people who wrote this music.
Yeah.
With their teams and such.
Absolutely.
And so this is like the Monkees or
there's another band like that too.
Donnie Marie Osmond or kind of that
the
way.
Gorillaz.
Oh yeah, it's sort of adjacent to Gorillaz. That's true. So this is why we were talking about nepotism, changing subjects. Sir Lucian Grange on UMG's AI policy. We will not license. I'm going to do this in a Lucian Grange
You got to
voice.
do it. You got to do the voice.
We will not license AI models that use an artist's voice without their consent. By Tim Ingham on our Music Business Worldwide. Obviously, we use them a lot. Shout out to Music Business Worldwide, real friend of the pod.
Real fucking friend.
This is the Universal Music Group chairman and CEO. Sir Lucian Grange has sent a comprehensive memo to UMG staff outlining the company's strategy for generative AI partnerships and product development. This addresses 3 core areas. 1, UMG's expanding portfolio of AI company agreements. 2, how artists can participate in AI opportunities. And 3, the company's public policy advocacy around responsible AI development. So
overall, good news.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty fucking good.
So they're trying to be proactive on AI rather than just getting led by the nose.
Rather than reactive.
Yeah, by being led around by the technology companies, which they need to be like. Yeah, I agree. This is great.
One of the reasons I threw this in the rundown is I thought this was really interesting because Lucian Grange is obviously the CEO of Universal Music Group, but his son Elliot Grange just became the CEO of Atlantic Music Group. This actually only happened last year. So this is a new appointment. And I thought it would be kind of, we talk a lot about like the healthiness, like the growth of music industry, the diversity in the music industry. But this is kind of the opposite. This is the nepotism in the music industry.
Yeah, which is big time.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways,
this is pretty fucking big.
This kind of thing is why we're doing this.
Yes. This is why we are here.
Is to like build up this kind of grassroots conversation around.
And you wouldn't necessarily know either. Like how do you put it? Like that's crazy, right? Like I thought that was insane.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Because Atlantic is huge. Like Universal Music Group is huge. The only other person really worth mentioning is Sony and fucking who did I miss? Sony, UMG, Warner. That's it.
I was thinking about this.
So half the 50% of this equation is the fucking Granges. 50% of the equation is the Granges.
I was thinking about this. Is like, do you know what's something is pretty convenient about doing a podcast about the music industry?
Tell me.
Is I only have to remember 3 company names.
Yeah, you do.
To talk. Like if this was a healthy music industry and there were like, 13, 15, 25 different little small companies, I would never be able to keep it all straight.
No.
But luckily, we've
got this consolidation.
Yeah. So responsible public policies for AI, leading the way forward, what the artists can do, and new agreements. So this is cool. This is
cool.
This is I'm a little nervous about the particulars, but
we have to see how this comes together.
Yeah.
This is not like, all of this is in development, right? Like whether they choose to like continue to do this and hold true to what their ideals are here, we're gonna have to wait and see. But I think it's cool to see, especially, Sir Lucian Grange. He's an old guy.
Yeah.
He's like Donald Trump age, old man, ready to die.
He's like the oldest person in the history of people.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet.
So like,
he's ready to die.
I'm sorry. Was it too soon? Did I come too quick? Like, I apologize.
I think you might have been projecting your feelings on the other person who you compared him to.
Also, ready to die.
Well, I certainly am ready for them to.
Are you ready for a toaster bath? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I meant I'm ready for them to die.
Okay, we can take that. We can get with that.
Another article from Music Business Worldwide. Taylor Swift's "The Life of a Showgirl" shatters U.S. sales records, dominates the singles chart.
This has been everywhere.
Yeah.
This has been everywhere. This has dominated everything.
Mandy Dalek again from Music Business Worldwide. So I will check out a Taylor Swift record.
Did you listen?
I haven't.
Okay.
She's a good writer. She's an effective writer.
This one might shock you.
What I've heard is that this one is a little weak, right?
So there's a lot of weird things in this record.
Yeah.
The writing is, I've talked, so I was at a writing camp this week. So I've been discussing lyric writing in depth. And I think what people have a hard time with this record is the lyrical content.
Yeah.
This is a record with Jack Antonoff, with Max Martin. not with Jack
Oh,
Antonoff.
okay.
This is a Max Martin record. But this lyric writing feels very juvenile. Feels very like kite and bright.
Oh,
Feels very
Moon
like
in
heart.
June.
Yes,
Yeah.
Moon in June. Exactly. This is real. And
heart and start.
yeah, and it's aggressively that way.
Okay.
Very aggressively, like, I felt so sad, and then I felt mad, and now I'm ready to call your dad. Like, it feels like that. It's real on the nose, and like, it's also, you know, the little words. We're not doing complex rhymes. We're not doing multisyllabic content.
Yeah.
We're just hitting them right there.
Okay. But this is a very Max Martin kind of way to write.
That is very Max Martin, but I think in this way it's been harder for people to digest because there's also like, you know, like a comical rap record where you're like, I'm gonna put my dick and it's hard as a stick. And it's funny. Like, it's also comical. I think this would be really funny if it were rapped. But because it's sung in this way, it feels a little corny. Yeah. And I think people are like struggling to intake that. But despite that, despite all the criticism, because this has been critically panned, this record is still performing.
Luminate data says that the album sold over 3.4 million copies in its first week in the US alone, breaking the record for the most albums sold in a week in the United States.
Come on, Taylor, hit him with those numbers again.
She's got the big movie.
She does. Oh, and so they made the whole document. I didn't even, before this article, I didn't realize. And she had been doing this where she'll release the little documentaries, these movies.
Yeah, well, and then she's in theater. She's got a theatrical release of her concert.
That's correct. Of the Eras tour.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
This is where I don't pay attention to the Taylor Swift very much. But, 34 different album versions.
Wow.
27 physical formats, including 18 CDs, 8 vinyl LPs, 1 cassette, and 7 download variants.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how many variations there were on this one product.
I heard that she was going to tone it back on this release, and I think she actually did, but that's still a lot of...
That's a lot. That's a lot of physical products to release. That goes like similar to like you're competing with the iPhone. You're competing with something where there's like, okay, I've got a 128 gigabyte version. I've got a 250. I got a 512. I got an 8 gigabyte version and a 16 gigabyte version with the RAM. And then I'm going to give you, you know, a Pro, a Max, a Pro Max. I'm going to give you the one version. Like you're coming up with 32 album variations. You're really getting in there.
The only artists that have more UK #1 albums are Robbie Williams and the Beatles.
I was wondering if you're going to say the Beatles.
Yeah.
Robbie Williams. Yeah. Shout out Robbie Williams.
Dude, it's
keeping
one of
those numbers up.
Nobody realizes Robbie Williams is one of those guys that he's just massive in the UK, and it's just he had like a couple minor hits.
Wow.
Like in the US,
crossed over,
but he's enormous in the UK.
That's wild.
But going back to one of like what is kind of what I've been hearing is
hit me with the tea
that like basically everybody just hates this record.
There's a lot not to like.
Yeah.
Like this is a hot take. I didn't love it. I think this is a record. You and I have this idea of open mic music. Sometimes you need to hear it multiple times before you like it.
Yeah.
This is a record you might need to hear multiple times before you like it.
Okay. I want to back up. The open mic thing is not that people aren't bringing great music to our thing.
No.
It's that one of the things that I've learned through the process of open mic is that when the same people come back week after week after week and often play the same songs, and now we've been doing our open mic for like
almost a year.
Yeah, like 10 months now, and
pretty close to a year.
So I've got a chance to hear songs by artists multiple times.
Yes.
And sometimes you always hear a song and you're like, oh, this is good. But then over like once you hear it 5-6 times, you're like, holy fuck,
this is great.
This could be massive. You're kind of saying more like it's just like maybe you listen to it a few more times, it might get better.
I mean that in both ways. I think like some songs I really do believe you need to hear multiple times.
Do too.
Like there's songs that I didn't like the first few listens.
Yeah.
And I think especially for that earworm quality, songs that have that like ability, like, and this is very Max Martin-ish, like baby, or anything that's just super repetitive, I think is always going to age better through hearing multiple times because it gives you that chance to really internalize, intake it. Will this record be like this? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it just is no good. But, you know, there's a lot to dig into here, and a lot of people are saying a lot of stuff, so I'd be wrong not to bring it out.
And despite the fact that this record is being kind of panned,
critically panned,
it's making a dickload of money.
Hit him with those numbers, Tay-Tay, come on.
So again, like we talked about this early on in one of our episodes, but like being universally liked is, and in fact, I even used Taylor Swift as the example. Being universally liked is not the goal, people.
No, people are talking about this record because they don't like it.
Yeah.
And they're still talking about it, and they're still going, well, let me stream this song so I can tell you what it is that I don't like.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm going to get paid as long as you play it. Every play, I'm getting paid.
Having a brand, having a story, having a presence online. And this is Taylor, right? Like having something that connects with your fans.
And I think some of the fans are connecting.
Yes, that's what I mean.
I think some of the fans are really like saying, hey, I love Taylor, but I don't love this.
Well, and that's the thing is like, because they love Taylor, they'll check this out, even if it's not her best. One of the things that I've been curious to see is like, you can't stay on top forever. So
no. And that's curious too. Like, I wonder, like, you can't be at the top forever. And Taylor's coming from being the best, the biggest selling tour in history.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to top.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And especially because she's too young to be a legacy act.
But she kind of moves like it because, we just got all of her catalog.
Yeah.
When she had to re-release everything, Taylor's versions. Yeah. Kind of like a greatest hits are. Like, nobody talks about this, but if you re-release all your content, you did release a greatest hits record.
What okay.
Like, I know that a lot of
that's not a greatest hits record.
Don't come for me, Swifties.
I'm obviously no Swiftie. That's not a greatest hits record.
But it kind of is.
It was a move to get her. It was a publishing move.
Of course. That's why you did it, but it functions.
Her Eras tour was a greatest hits tour.
Yes. So you're listening to songs that go all the way back to like 2008.
But that's fine. She's been around for a long time. I don't begrudge her for having for great, like lots of artists,
like a legacy artist.
But she's so young that it's going to be really interesting to see what is going to be 30, 40 years of Taylor going to be.
I mean,
as a writer,
I'm sure we'll get more records after this record. I just don't think this is going to be one of the ones this isn't the Sgt. Pepper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. This is more like the Beatles only release classics, but like
I didn't give you
you didn't set me up right.
No, I didn't.
But this is like I'm thinking of like the Joshua Tree to the Rattle and Hum, kind of a weird pivot that people weren't like
they weren't ready for.
A huge like era defining record, and then okay, that's the thing. Let's do one more real quick.
Let's wrap it up with something fun,
which is Drake's lawsuit against UMG over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us dismissed.
Finally comes to an end. The Drake song. And I thought this was interesting to talk about too, just for us to kind of go out on, because, Drake was supposed to put out a record this month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think it is. I think this might just be you know what, guys? I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I think that we're good here.
Drake has had, I'm not a Drake fan either. No. I've never I'm a pretty open-minded listener. Drake's been tough for me to ingest. So that's my bias. Right?
I enjoyed Drake in the 2008 phase, like the young Drake songs. Like I enjoyed early Drake, when he had the fro. I was enjoying some of that.
He was a little hungrier in those days.
Yeah, I enjoyed some of that, but I've never been let me turn on some Drake.
So he's really kind of on a historic losing streak.
Yeah, it's
right
been bad.
Now.
It has not been good.
It has been rough. This is like when Michael Jordan went to baseball and just
I forgot about that.
Sucked.
I forgot entirely about that.
And then unretired and also just wasn't any good on the Bulls. This is just you although also probably a bad example because Michael Jordan was an undisputable champion.
Well, I think that's fair. At a certain point, before the beef, Drake was a really, really viable pop artist.
True, that's
super viable. And top of the top for pop artists.
Yeah.
Maybe not for rap artists,
and then
but for pop
artists, yeah. And then Kendrick just murdered him.
Annihilation.
Murdered him.
Wrecked.
And then Drake made a pretty bad move, I think.
Doing a lawsuit?
Yeah, because here we are dunking on him. I don't even care about Drake. I'm some white boy from Minnesota dunking on Drake.
Yes.
You know?
Well, it's ready to be dunked on. The dunks are ready.
Yeah. So, yeah, poor Drake has not had a good year.
No, and I think this might... I mean, maybe I won't put my my DraftKings bet on it, but I think this might be the end of Drake.
So here's what's funny is in this article, which I'm not going to read, but I'm just going to kind of scroll through. There's a photo of Drake. There's a bunch of there's some discussion. There's an ad. There's a quote. There's an ad, and then there's the Kendrick Lamar music video.
Like us video.
Like there's no Drake music in this thing.
No.
Like Drake will forever be kind of ensconced in public memory as the guy who got his ass kicked by Kendrick Lamar. And he'll never come back from that.
No.
And I'm an LA transplant, and I am here for that.
Here for that.
That's our episode. So there's a really strong chance as we were doing this. This is the DIY podcast.
This is the DIY podcast
music.
about DIY music.
And part of the thing about DIY is that you just gotta roll with the punches.
Well, you gotta make it work.
There's a pretty strong chance that our video cut out here, and so we're sorry about that.
I'm gonna say it's a yes. It's a definitely cut out.
But we learn things about this is why you got to stay steady on stuff.
You do.
We learn every single week like how to kind of do this well.
We learn something new every week.
And part of this is my fault because I forgot my camera.
But also my brain turned to mush, so it's my fault too. Daddy can't do everything.
So thank you, and Daddy does a lot. So thank you for joining us. We are here every week. This has been the Wholesome Music Podcast. If you are listening on a streaming platform, a podcast platform, please subscribe, please like, please share.
This is a big week for us on downloads. So if you're listening on Apple Music, make sure you leave us 5 stars and leave us a review.
Yeah, and then if you're watching on YouTube, such as it were, you can share, you can leave us some comments, you can. What's the thing that we asked you?
You can hit the hype.
The hype?
Hit the hype button. We got under 500,000 subs.
We fucking do.
Help us get there.
Join us on TikTok. Join us on Instagram.
Those clips be sizzling.
Yeah, those are good. When I have time to make them, those are nice. We're really glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. Of course, we'll be back next week. And I think that's all we need to say, right?
That's everything.
Okay. Keep making music, you guys.